Hey guys, what's going on? Laying back for another Netflix review, and today I'm going to be talking about Beauty. Beauty is an American drama that tells the story of a woman named Beauty, an aspiring singer who's offered the chance of a lifetime to sign a lucrative contract with a record company. While she is happy for the chance to follow her dreams, she's also worried about how it will affect her relationship with others. She deals with multiple pressures as she goes about preparing for her future, such as the polarized reactions from her family, her secret relationship with her girlfriend, and trying to make sense of the new world she's been thrust into. She has to juggle all of these things at once, while also trying to maintain her voice and identity. At least that's what the plot of this movie claims to be doing. Truth be told, while there are some good parts that highlight the struggle of black musicians, most of it gets lost in an unfocused mess of a story, further marred by poorly developed characters and slow pacing. To start, the titular protagonist Beauty doesn't have much of a personality to go on. She's supposed to start off timid and gradually stand up for herself as she becomes more immersed in her career, but there's never any meaningful interaction that goes on between her and the music industry at large, so a lot of the drama that surrounds her doesn't have any weight behind it. She is sympathetic in the sense that she has a lot on her plate to deal with between controlling family members and her strict contract, but there's a huge imbalance with how both of them are shown, with too much on the family side and too little when it comes to the actual music. And this is what really annoyed me the most about her as a character. Even though she's a singer who's supposedly practicing her craft and doing her best to stay on top of the competition, the audience never hears her sing once throughout the entire movie. I kept waiting for some big reveal to happen, and I was so confused when it didn't. I was just like, what? The movie does show bits and pieces of her singing, but it's always muted, so the audience never actually gets to hear how good she is. It's really weird to hear so many characters in the movie praising her as an artist when the audience has nothing to go on regarding her abilities or progression in the industry. So there's a disconnect between what the movie's trying to say versus how it's coming out. This disconnect grows even bigger when the movie spends an unusually large amount of time showing Beauty admiring the performances of other musicians on television. It's one thing for a character to draw inspiration, but these scenes waste so much time that could be better spent in other scenes like writing lyrics, dealing with voice issues, performing concerts, basically anything more interesting than just sitting around watching TV. All of this preparation she does is supposed to be shaping her identity as she goes from being a shy girl to a confident woman that may lose a bit of what made her unique along the way. While there is some of that in the movie, her transition is inconsistent because it jumps from one period to the next without any warning, so is pretty much entirely distanced from Beauty's struggles for most of the movie. Her problems as a character extend into her family circle too. At first glance, I did enjoy what the filmmakers were going for with them. Her family members are close-knit to the point that they obsess over Beauty's well-being, with her father wanting her to sign a contract for monetary gain, while her mother, having been burned by the music industry in the past, wants her to avoid it altogether. They all have different agendas about what to do with Beauty and try to control everything she does. This is something that could have had an impact on the way Beauty shapes herself as a person, but there are two problems that prevent this from happening. The first problem is that the family members' motives never make any sense. The mother is supposed to be 100% against her daughter going into music, but she does a complete 180 when her daughter signs the contract. Meanwhile, the dad clearly wants a cut of Beauty's money, but seems more focused on other things like getting Beauty's girlfriend out of the picture. I just never got a sense as to what purpose they served in the story. The second problem, going back to what I said earlier about an imbalance, is that there's way too much family drama in this movie. A lot of the things they argue about end up repeating themselves, so between the constant spats and Beauty lazing around watching music videos all the time, the story mostly ends up going nowhere. It feels like the filmmakers barely cared about the movie they were making. I say barely because there are a few things that stand out, one of which was the ways in which black musicians are marketed to appeal to wider demographics, ranging from answers given to press questions to what her official biography is. It was interesting to see how these little things came to affect Beauty in a big way, and a lot of that is thanks to Sharon Stone's portrayal of the record producer. She does a great job at being a subtle but sinister figure in Beauty's life and really helped to emphasize the cutthroat nature of the music industry. The other thing I liked seeing was the relationship between Beauty and her girlfriend Jasmine, and how it changes over time. As Beauty goes about her music career, she has to keep her sexuality a secret to avoid spoiling her image, and this creates tension between the pair as a result. Some might be bothered with how many highs and lows are shown with them, but to me it's the only element that makes sense as to why it's inconsistent compared to everything else in the movie. With how much of a roller coaster Beauty's life already is, supposedly as a musician, it's natural that this would be the same between her and Jasmine. It could have gone deeper between the two, but it's fine overall. Despite this though, the two aren't without problems. There's an unexplained shakeup regarding Beauty's sexuality with a male character later in the movie, and it really irritated me in how he was used. He has no personality, zero development behind him, and basically serves only to drum up artificial conflict between Beauty and Jasmine, despite only appearing in 2 scenes. Even the way the movie is edited doesn't always make sense. A lot of scenes are filmed in long takes where it's really not necessary to do so, and they're often paired with camera panning that becomes more annoying the longer it goes on. Some scenes even had random jump cuts that were so distracting they completely took me out of the movie. And that's if I was even able to stay attentive with the movie in the first place. The build-up of events in the story is very slow paced, to a point that it's almost dreamlike. I'm not sure if this was an intentional aesthetic choice or not, but with how lazily executed the story was, I'm leaning more towards the latter. Overall, Beauty is a lousy drama that admirably attempts to shape a sympathetic character torn between multiple worlds, but ultimately fails in its execution. If you're looking for a music-centered drama and you don't mind a lack of focus with its story and characters, you might enjoy this, but personally I didn't find it appealing. I read somewhere that this movie is supposed to be inspired by events from the life of Whitney Houston, and I think this at least partly explains why it ends up falling short. It tries to be its own thing, while also paying tribute to an idol, and its lack of direction in this regard results in a movie that's both boring and annoying to watch. What did you think about this movie? Did you think Beauty's journey through the music industry was compelling, or did it not take advantage of its potential? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, that's going to wrap up my review of Beauty. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always stay tuned for the next part, where next time I review the American fantasy drama, The Princess. Bye bye!